After what felt like years of speculation and rumors, Nintendo finally unveiled the Switch 2. And while I'm excited for a lot of things, there's a few things that I'm worried about. Let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the hardware. So we have a larger display at 7.9 inches, capable of 120 frames per second via VRR. There's an extra USB-C port at the top now, so not just one USB-C port where you dock your Switch. I'm hoping that leads to accessories like the USB hub or a dongle that lets you add ports. We definitely know that you'll be able to plug in the new camera accessory, which we'll jump into in a bit. Then the Joy-Cons are magnetic. They're attached magnetically, no more sliding. And they have a latch, a button that makes them latch off so you don't have to worry about the magnet like demagnetizing while you're playing. Then there's also the rumors of the Joy-Cons being capable of turning into mice were true. We saw a few games featuring that feature, the big one being Metroid 4. You saw the demonstration where they were using it as a mouse, like a first-person shooter on PC. I'm interested to see how Splatoon plays now, using one as a mouse and the other as our movement. That'd be pretty cool. The speakers have been upgraded. They have a more surround sound feel, and they're much louder. And then the internal storage is the big thing that got upgraded. We were dealing with 32 gigs before. We're now at 256 of internal storage. So no more of that day one where I downloaded Breath of the Wild and it took up the whole system storage. And then there's new SD cards. You can't use the old SD cards from the original Switch to this one. There's a speed upgrade, so now we're using SD Express, Micro Express. And then a new Pro Controller. They announced a new Pro Controller that has programmable buttons. I'm a little worried about how that'll work because I'm used to using the extra paddles. These look like they're built into the handrest, so we'll see how that looks. Overall, I'm excited. A little disappointed that the screen, we're sticking to LCD and not OLED like the OLED Switch. I was hoping for that, but maybe with the HDR10 features of the LCD screen, we'll get those dark inky colors that we were all looking for. It'll definitely be vibrant, but I don't know about how good back paneling will be. We'll see soon enough. You know, this might seem like a afterthought or a small thing and not a big deal to a lot of people, but to me, it's huge. We finally get voice chat, and it's crazy to say it's 2025 that I'm excited for voice chat. But if you've ever tried to use voice chat on the original Switch, you know how brutal it is having to pull out your phone and download an app and then try to coordinate with the rest of your friends. It's either that or jump on Discord. But no, Nintendo revealed what the C button does, and it's our social button. You can use it to voice chat via the built-in microphones on your Joy-Cons that are also noise canceled, which is pretty cool. Or you could use that button to do game capture or game sharing, like you could share your screen and your friends could see what you're playing. But they also announced an accessory, it's a camera. You plug it into your Switch, you use the C button, and it brings up your camera. Your friends could see you, you could talk to them. And they've tied it into some of the games, like Mario Party. There's new mini games that revolve around the camera. But a cool thing I saw was one of the friends like stole another one's star, and it was like, trash talking. And now you can see your friend trash talking in real time. I'm excited. I'm loving it. About time, Nintendo. You did a good job. That's a big one for me. But let's get back to a positive note. So the first game shown off was Mario Kart World, and the name is perfect. It's an open world Mario Kart game where you could drive to your next race, find Easter eggs, drive around a huge open world. It reminds me of Diddy Kong Racing with the overworld where you could fly or drive around and find hidden Easter eggs or get to your next race. But it also reminds me a lot of Forza Horizon and Burnout Paradise, where they give you this open world to drive around in and explore. I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a launch game, so June 5th when the Switch 2 releases, Mario Kart World will be there. It's also part of the bundled in version of the Switch 2, where you pay an extra $50 and it has the game. And then other games that they showed off that really had me excited was that Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So Warriors is cool. It's basically Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters, but it looks like Nintendo's taking it a step further with Koei, and they're actually showing us what happened to Zelda when she traveled through time. Really excited for that. And then we had the Donkey Kong announcement, which looked fantastic. It's a return to Donkey Kong 64, which we haven't seen in ages, but with a 2D flair, much like we saw with some of the more recent Super Mario games. So you'll get that Donkey Kong Country style of gameplay with the open 3D gameplay of Donkey Kong 64. Looks like all the environments are destructible. Super excited for that. Can't wait to play that. And then what really surprised me was the GameCube announcement. We're getting GameCube added to the Switch Online, much like the N64 and the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. But they also announced a cool little GameCube controller that you can buy separately to play the GameCube games. We saw Wind Waker, which has improved visuals and performance, and we also saw F Zero. So yeah, I'm digging that. I saw a hint of Pokemon, one of the Pokemon stadiums. So yeah, I'm all for that. And then we saw a ton of third party support. We saw Ubisoft show some games, Sega showed a ton of games. But what surprised me the most, will probably piss a lot of the Sony fanboys off, was Duskblood. The game looks like a Bloodborne sequel mixed with the Elden Ring open world. And it's from software and it's exclusive to the Switch 2. I am really intrigued and I really want to see more of that. They showed some gameplay. It looks perfectly fine. It looks like a From Software game, but having it be exclusive to the Switch 2 is pretty interesting this early on. We'll see. Like I think that's a good sign for Nintendo where a lot of folks were saying, you buy a Switch only for the first party games. Well, here's a From Software game that's exclusive to the Switch 2. And here's where some of the decisions Nintendo's making is really confusing me. So I jokingly say Nintendo takes 5 steps forward, two back, and there's a few choices being made that are really, really weird to me. So we have Game Share, which I think is really consumer friendly. I buy one copy of the game and we could play locally with up to 3 systems. So think Smash Bros. One copy of Smash Bros. We could play 4 different Switches could play together. But then they announced the game keycard. It's basically a Switch 2 game that just has a license. You pop that into the console and it downloads the game from the Switch online shop. A part of me understands it. Like, let's picture a game like Call of Duty, where it's 100 and something gigs, right? So that wouldn't fit on the game on the actual cart. I get it, but it seems weird to me. It seems icky. What happens if that game gets removed from the online shop? Now your cart is obsolete. We don't have all the info, so I'm gonna wait till we have more information. And then the prices of games. Yeah. So Donkey Kong is $69.99 confirmed, but Mario Kart World has been confirmed to be $89.99 for the physical, $90 for the physical, 80 for the digital. Yikes. So I was thinking maybe it's due to tariffs, this whole administration, the whole political climate. Things are more expensive now due to the tariffs. But there's no tariffs on digital games. So why is Mario Kart World $80 while Donkey Kong is 70? A part of me thinks maybe Donkey Kong is also releasing on the old Switch, on the original Switch. So there's that lower price. and Mario Kart World is a Switch 2 exclusive. We don't know yet. It's a wait and see. But either way, it doesn't sit well with me. $90 for a game, that prices out a lot of people. Quickly at that. And we do know Nintendo never puts any of their stuff on sale. So I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But before we go, let's talk about the release date and pre-ordering. So the release date's on June 5th. There's two versions of the console. Base console, that's just the console itself, for $449.99, and then the console bundled in with Mario Kart World for $499.99. And then next week, most retailers are opening pre-orders at midnight and some in store. So keep an eye out for that. And Nintendo, lastly, is doing something pretty cool for folks that sign up. If you have over 50 hours of gameplay on your Switch and a Nintendo Switch Online account, you can register to receive a special pre-order code on May 8th. So registration for that closes on April 9th as well. So go to the site, do that. You have to opt in for emails and opt in to share information from your Switch to Nintendo so they can verify all that. It's a way to combat the scalpers. Let's hope it works. And with that said, good luck, everyone. If you're trying to get a Switch 2, I hope you're able to land one. And if you're not, hey, what's keeping you from buying a Switch 2? Let's talk about it. What are you excited about?